Gainey and Reynolds. Green flag is waving. We're underway here in Atlanta. Side by side, the top four breaking away. Matt Schlosser back in fifth. To point out as well, the apron only in the tri-oval. You can go below that red and white line. Everywhere else, it's out of bounds. You'll see Gainey there taking full advantage of that, as it's Reynolds, who led 108 laps last week, leading the first one here at Atlanta. And the top line, look at him go. Boorboom is clear. And is Boorboom going to take it? He will. So Ryan Boorboom to the head of the field. Everybody's starting to get slowed up already. Boorboom. Oh, Andy Poliski with a big wiggle. That's breeding up in the wall. Somebody's off in the grass. I think it was Boorboom.
Oh, and more problems. Nathan Reynolds gets turned around.
Yeah, Boorboom is going to pick up a black flag. No caution. And I can't imagine. Yep, this is not going to go any better. More problems. Everybody spinning on the pit road.
Wow.
Lockett, Schlosser, Paul Sargent. Caution is out, just as we expected. When is it all going to kick off?
Well, I mean, things have been a little bit crazier than they were in that first run. Not too terribly. Oh, no, there's somebody around there in the back.
Oh, I think that's Nathan Reynolds, if I'm not mistaken. Reynolds has gone around.
It is. See, he has to back way off the throttle. And he just gets a little tap from Dean. Back end starts going around. Not able to make a save.
Tops line slowly but surely.
Oh! It looks like Lockett's hard into the wall. He's able to keep it straight, unbelievably. Oh, there's more wrecking.
2, 3, 4 trucks involved. Caution is back out. We're going to make it back to the line. Yes, we are. Mile and a half to go. Poliski in control.
Schlosser and Gainey 3 wide on the top, a little bit farther back. No 3 wide up towards the front right now.
Ryan Dye trying to push with everything he's got here on the outside to get Froman the advantage. Broke Guy has control out of turn number 4. Froman side drafting hard. Poliski. They're going to wreck behind. Steve Froman across the line. Froman wins the cut the cord as the entire field going to wad it up behind him.
Froman is really racking up some super speedway wins on the channel here in the last 12 months or so.
If you thought last week was crazy, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Strap yourselves in because you know it, I know it, even the competitors know it. It's time for the We're All Gonna Die 175 at the world-famous paperclip, the half-mile Martinsville Speedway. It plays host to the Venom Truck Series for the 3rd time in series history. And it serves as the penultimate round of what is already a done and dusted championship, more or less, for season number 7. But round number 15, there is a lot on the line, and a lot of things are going to happen for sure here tonight. Welcome back here to Turn 200. My name is Tommy Cook. Matt Williamson will be alongside momentarily. And we don't want to call it 100% official yet, but you can take a look at the numbers here for yourself. With only 2 races to go and a drop race that has yet to factor into the standings, Nathan Reynolds up top by quite some margin. But again, we'll wait for a coronation until after tonight. Whether or not Nathan ends up on the podium remains to be seen after 175 laps here in Martinsville. 2 previous outings here at the paperclip, and maybe it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that between these 2 races there have been a combined 30 cautions, including what was previously a league record in season number 4 with 17 cautions. Last time we were here, only 13, and that was in Turn 200's time here with the Venom Truck Series as well. So we have a little bit of footage to play off of there. Yeah, I would say expect this. I would expect a lot of this, and if we get less than what we're expecting here for the caution count, I think a lot of drivers are going to be happy, but I think everybody should be expecting a lot of cautions here tonight at Martinsville. The record, by the way, the new record, was set earlier this season at Bristol with 20. What is it going to take home a checkered flag here from Martinsville in the penultimate round of the Venom Truck Series season number 7? We're about to find out as qualifying is underway for the We're All Gonna Die 175 here from Martinsville Speedway. And race coverage of the Venom Truck Series is around the turn on turn 200.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how is your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation. Welcome back to live coverage of the Venom Truck Series here on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cook hanging out with you, and we've got the one and only, our resident hot dog here, Mr. Matt Williamson, the Glizzy Gobbler himself. Welcome into Booth 200. High praise, I know. Welcome back to the paperclip here.
It's good to be here. Always love the good old dogs here, Martinsville, apparently. And ready to see some short track racing. Hopefully a little bit cleaner short track racing than we saw the last time we were here with the Venom Truck Series. But we will have to see. It's a special night here as we only have 2 races left, including tonight, to conclude the championship.
Yes, indeed. Championship, we're going to wait to see how things shake out tonight, but I think it's pretty well in hand after Brody Gunther took a provisional last week. And Nathan Reynolds going to be celebrating more than one way here today, as it's the throwback race tonight at Martinsville. And Venom takes it up a notch because they all archive their paint schemes. And when the throwback race comes around, they will all share their own paint schemes amongst themselves and amongst the league. So tonight's theme is Nathan Reynolds. There are going to be a lot of Nathan Reynolds schemes on the track, but some non-ones as well. Let's run through the drivers that are here with us, as many as we can before the starting grid here in about 3 minutes. Let's start with the champ, Reynolds, who has sort of a throwback mashup going on with the gold trim, the milk splatter on some of the corners there, and for both of the final races, he is switching back to his original truck number 51, and going out the way that he came in. And the Nathan Reynolds tribute trucks, the theme of the night, John Kay running the Intimidator throwback. Now, John has run this truck himself. In fact, he ran it first, and then Nathan took it. So really, it's a double throwback. But there are some nice pictures on the tailgate of both of them and their experiences here in Venom. Speaking of mashups, how about the four corners of Nathan on Andy Poliski's truck? The blue circuit board on the right side, the milk truck on the left side, plain black on the top and front, and the OG tailgates on the back of that truck. Paul Ellison and Kyle Zittel, they are running basically the same scheme, a little bit more chrome on Kyle Zittle's, but it is the NASCAR Report Drivers Meeting throwback in black and gold. Eric Breeding is also running that same truck, but it is in red with the gold chrome trim as well. Ronnie Matney throwing it back to Nathan Reynolds' very first paint scheme with the Venom Truck Series in that 83. And Ryan Dye switching back to the number 15 on the side of that truck tonight to pay tribute to his old teammate and co-owner with the Sweet Frog frozen yogurt livery. In the news department, Luke Peterson is now permanently switched to number 38, and his paint scheme will also be a throwback to the milk truck from Nathan Reynolds last season. Now, to the non-Nathan Reynolds throwback schemes. Cole Maxwell running the classic Corey Rutherford Pace truck paint scheme. Love that truck. Matt Schlosser is throwing it back to Cole Maxwell himself. The Season 3 Flying Squirrel in orange livery for driver number... driver number 40, was driver number 8 for Cole Maxwell when that scheme got rolled out. Steve Roman, last week's race winner, throwing it back to the late, great Merv Turner, who we run the Rocket Man Memorial for every season. He's driving the Driving for Dummies truck. Great to see that back out on track. Tyler Burgert totaled his truck at Atlanta last week, so he's literally just driving Jeremy McKinnon's latest truck, complete with the 12 underneath the 44 on the side. It's a great-looking Canada Dry scheme, though. Jan Van Leer throwing it back to Sammy Dunaway's Rattlehead Mafia Megadeth paint scheme and running his friend Black Ray's name on the name rail as a tribute. Ethan Patterson throwing it back to himself from Season 5 in the Dirty Jobs truck. In non-Venom Canem, Corey Rutherford is throwing it back to the Mountain Dew throwback wrap on his truck. Mark Dillon Jr. running the classic Days of Thunder mellow yellow paint scheme. And we'll show it more as it's rolling around here under the pacing. But Zach Lockett is throwing a paint scheme on tonight, a very cool one, because it's a throwback to me. And I did not coerce him to do that, but he's repping us, repping the retro Turn 200 logo on the side of the truck. Cool paint scheme that I used to run in officials and other leagues as well. So shout out to Zach Lockett for repping Turn 200 tonight. And again, we didn't pay him. We didn't ask him. But it's a great-looking truck. I think it's probably the best truck that I've ever painted, and I'm not a good painter. So pretty exciting stuff. And pretty exciting that we are going to get the throwback race underway here at Martinsville. Brody Gunther needs a Hail Mary tonight to even have a chance of sniffing the championship next week. It is his third pole of the season, and he will line up next to his championship adversary, the man who is being paid tribute to a lot tonight, Nathan Reynolds, but he wants to go out not staring at the lights. He wants to conquer Martinsville before it's all said and done. Luke Peterson and Matt Schlosser then on row number 2. It's John Kay and Ryan Dye on row number 3. Steve Roman and Flinky is back in the field. Flinky Roberts will line up in P8. Ronnie Matney and Cole Maxwell going to get a top 10 starting position here at Martinsville. It is Pascal Samard and Kyle Zittel on row number 6, Corey Rutherford and Jan Van Leer on row 7, Paul Ellison and Andy Poliski on row number 8, Zach Lockett and Tyler Burgert on row 9, and Austin Holyfield, coming off his best career finish last week at Atlanta, will line up at 19th. Eric Breeding will start to his outside in P20. Chad Stearns, Kyle Dimmick, Mark Dillon Jr., and Ethan Patterson, the 24 drivers who are getting ready to brave it all, to risk it all for a win here at Martinsville tonight. I would say they all have a shot at it just because you never know how many trucks we're going to wad up by the end of this race. Matt Williamson, some track facts, some notes, whatever you got for us here ahead of 175 laps tonight.
Yeah, well, we're in the nighttime here, so track conditions are going to be pretty favorable for the drivers. Got to be careful here as we start out on the cold tires, though. 79 degrees is the track temperature. We got 175 laps tonight. That's a little bit longer than we typically have run here in the past, so drivers have a few extra laps to navigate around here tonight. No fast repairs. They have 3 extra sets of tires to work with. Fuel really not going to come into play probably, but I'm sure we'll see somebody try to stretch it as long as possible. We're thinking 120, maybe 130 laps here. That is a long time to go on a set of tires, though.
What we're going to ask for tonight is some patience because half the field is Nathan Reynolds throwbacks. They all look pretty similar. So going to ask for some patience in identifying some drivers tonight, especially with what we're about to put ourselves through here. 175 laps in Martinsville. Gunter and Reynolds, the championship protagonists, leading the way. We're under green at the paperclip. Already some big checkups there on the outside. Schlosser gets the worst of it, as Peterson going to slot up to third right away here as Gunter leads the charge now into 3. Single file all the way until you get back to Steve Vroman, who's battling there.
That's Ryan Dye that just got around the outside of Steve, and Rodney Matney closing in behind as well, trying to make something happen.
So Zach Lockett, I think, picked up a black flag on the initial start, so he is coming to the pits.
Oh, looked like he got trouble in the back.
I think Cole Maxwell is involved. That'll be caution number 1 here, coming around past the line for lap 3. Corey Rutherford? Nope, that's Corey's truck.
That's
Tyler Burgert. Yes. Already getting mixed up, and that wasn't even a Reynolds livery.
So yeah, Cole Maxwell in the Rutherford pace truck, and then Burgert there in the Jeremy McKinnon Canada Dry truck, both involved in that one. Not sure how this develops exactly. Maybe somebody gets checked up. We'll have to see. It's like Maxwell's just working on the outside here. Might be a self-spin on cold tires. And it certainly is. Minimal contact there with Burgert, but contact nonetheless. Maxwell gets put into the outside wall. I mean, here around Martinsville, really not going to matter a whole lot unless, you get the toe knocked out or something. But as long as everything's good with the wheels, should be good to go, no problem.
Good on Barney the flag man. He was Johnny on the spot with that caution. And, we've broken the seal. It only took 3 laps. First caution of the night is out. I have to mention it if you didn't catch the intro. 2 races here in the past in the Venom Truck Series. 30 cautions in those 2 races. 17 in Season 4. 13 in Season 5. And put 1 on the board. We're marching towards the new series record. 17 was the record until we got to Bristol this season. And now the new number to shoot for to break the record outright will be 21. So, buckle in.
Yeah, the thing about that caution in particular is it wasn't 2 drivers getting overly aggressive. It was, just a case of cold tires coming up and grabbing somebody. Kind of thought that would be an issue here early on, especially at nighttime. As the drivers get settled in here, those tires will come up to temperature and should be able to, get some pretty long green flag runs in here.
Brody Gunter leading the way. He was grabbed his first Venom Truck Series win early this season at USA. Led quite a few of the opening laps at Bristol before he fell victim to what pretty much everybody in the field fell victim to at some point, which was a self-spin. To back up the Cole Maxwell caution to open things up here, this truck is incredibly loose at the beginning portion of the run. Have to be very, very careful, especially if you get trapped up top. A lot to keep in mind here.
And we're going to take a look, cycle through some of the drivers running car inside cameras for us here tonight. Very fitting with about half the drivers in the field running a Nathan Reynolds paint scheme to have the car inside cameras running here tonight. Just took a look at Nathan himself and, of course, Luke Peterson. And we got Ryan Dye and Corey Rutherford on the docket here later on tonight to take a look at as well.
Thanks, everybody, hanging out with us already. Good Leaf Archives, as always. And Lindsay G, enjoy the vacation. Keep the big man in line, would you? Back it away. Gunter immediately up to cover off Nathan Reynolds. There is Peterson and Kay side by side for third. Schlosser hanging in fifth.
And we've seen some passes around the outside.
Oh, contact, Dye, and Froman all over each other there. That was actually, that was not Dye. That was the other white. I think that was Rodney Matney.
They're up towards the front. Kay and Peterson still going at it. We saw Ryan Dye make a pass around Steve Roman around the outside, so we know it works. A little bit of contact there between the two of them. Kay gets pushed out to the outside wall and may not get this position. Now has Schlosser underneath.
Schlosser going for it. Schlosser incredibly fast in practice. Looked like he was going to be the truck to beat. Early hiccup there on the initial start. Having to work off the back foot a bit, but nothing he's not accustomed to.
And that's the bad thing about going for it on the outside on a short track. If you don't make it work, you could get railroaded, but Kay only loses one position there, so really not too much harm done.
Half a second lead right now for Gunter over Reynolds.
Further back in the pack, this is right around the top 10. Roberts in the 68 is in the top 10. Oh, and the caution flies.
Problems. I think Pascal Simard has had a problem. He has spun on pit road.
Yeah, in a weird spot. It's almost like he spun down around the pit exit wall and ends up just towing.
So over the radio, Austin Holyfield claims responsibility for the accident. So I'd say those are your two drivers to look at here as we're under caution here for the second time.
And here's Smart working on the outside. Yeah, Holyfield just gets in there a little, just a tad too hot. Just barely tags that left rear of Simard. And sure enough, Simard just kind of wraps right around the exit of pit entrance here, trying to get it turned around. Take one more look at it. We're going to go from the view of Holyfield here. And Simard's trying to get good turn through the corner, really trying to squeeze down on that bottom lane, and Holyfield comes up the racetrack just a little bit. Just barely tags that left rear. Pretty innocent racing deal there. But it's the second caution nonetheless.
Unfortunately, Pascal Simard going to call it a night after that. It's actually a pretty sporty little short track racer. So I'm sure he was probably, at least on some level, looking forward to tonight. So an early exit for him is going to put him down in 23rd. Ethan Patterson never took the green flag tonight. So 23rd is the last running position. The wave around goes to Zach Lockett, who again had a problem there on the initial start and had to come in and serve a penalty right off the rip. So he is back to 2 laps down now, the only truck not on the lead lap. Mark Dillon Jr., the only driver to come into pit here under this second caution.
And here's a look at the other 2 car inside camera drivers tonight, Corey Rutherford and Ryan Dye. All of our car inside drivers are in the top 10 right now.
So I was told by Ryan Dye, speaking of car inside, that the season 8 schedule, for the Venom Truck Series, is coming out sometime this week. And you and I have been promised that it is spicy. There's some talk of it even being longer than this season. It sounds like it's still up in the air, but nonetheless, we're all very excited to see what Ryan Dye and the voting process has cooked up for next season. Gunter, back to it. Gunter had to launch there as he was making the exit out of 2. It looked really uncomfortable, but he gets away cleanly. Reynolds, not so much, but Peterson going to let him down into 3. As now Schlosser fighting on the outside to try and get up to 3rd. Oh, spin!
No!
And around goes Ryan Dye. That looked to be unassisted. Dye looked like he was about half a lane up too high, maybe trying to keep it out of the wall. And if you're fighting it that much on colder tires, it is easy for it to go around. Caution number 3, just like that.
Yep, and there's a look at Ryan getting a turnaround, pointed the right direction. And we'll take a look. Dye there in the 50. Oh, he had to check up really hard. He got pretty hot there in behind John Kay. Looked like he had to really get on the brakes and then just kind of set him up for a not so great exit around the corner there, and rear end of the truck just got light and went straight around on him, trying to exit on the top side. Typically don't see people using that top side this soon, so I'm sure the truck, the setup, the tires weren't quite agreeing with that option as Dye got into the corner just a little too hot there.
Flinky saying, don't text and drive. Wasn't planning on it.
I think, isn't Flinky driving right now?
Yeah, I think so. Driving in the top 10 as well. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, I mean, he did misspell don't the first time, so, I mean, that tells you the shape that he's in at the moment.
Well, dent or don't, it didn't matter.
Regardless, good to see the 68 back on the track for an official race, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, it feels like it's been a minute. Flinky always in the chat with us, but great to have him back on track. You know, he's a short track guy, up in the top 10. Never say never. Flink's had some good runs this season, even in his limited appearances.
Yeah, of course, I think the most notable is probably at Lernerville, really wheeling it around the dirt. That was fun to watch.
So Ryan Dye's been on and off pit road. These early cautions again serving to benefit Zach Lockett, who is now going to be 1 lap down. And still the only truck a lap down.
I've never thought about this. Is Flinky a Live Fast Motorsports driver with that all-black, no sponsor 68?
I think BJ would be lucky to have a driver like Flinky Roberts.
Some might say he could be the best driver.
He could be the best driver. That was a bummer that BJ didn't make the field for the 500. Yeah, maybe that'll be in Flinky's future. Who knows? I can tell you what will be in the future here. Brody Gunter coming to another restart. We'll see where he elects to launch. Schlosser may get a good enough jump to leave Nathan Reynolds hung out here. It's about time to find out. Schlosser on the move since the early mistake. Gunter waits to launch. Reynolds is ahead and has to wait not to pick up a black flag. But that also checks up Schlosser, so Reynolds able to get down pretty easily.
Yeah, Reynolds is able to get down. Peterson fighting her on the outside. Whoa! Looked like a little bit of contact farther back for Rutherford. Matney getting himself into the mix. Where is Stickers McQueen? Rodney Matney's on the move.
Matney moving forward after some early contact with Steve Vroman. Reynolds pulling away from Luke Peterson, who is reclaimed third. Reynolds looking to pounce here on Brody Gunter.
Side-by-side battle for the top 10 here. Ellison looking to get around Jan Van Leer, but now has Poliski underneath.
Oh, spin right in front of those two. I think that was Rutherford in the throwback. That car just hooked hard out of turn 4. Unfortunately, Rodney Matney with a big shot there. I think his race might be over.
Really big shot for Rutherford to that inside wall as well. Definitely quite a bit of damage on the 25, too.
Well, Matney, after the contact there, went straight left into the wall. So, I mean, that's some pretty significant damage.
Wow, setup proving to be, I knew it was going to be pretty loose, maybe even more so than I originally thought. Here's a look down at the replay into the corner. Rutherford looks like he gets a little bit higher in the corner than he would have liked to. Tries to put the power down. Oh, and he tries to correct it. Just overcorrects straight up into Matney. Oh, and you're right. Matney hard down into the wall. It's almost like he had hands off the steering wheel, or the steering wheel jerked so hard when Rutherford hit him that it disconnected or something.
I'm sure something on the internals of the front suspension there probably broke for Matney. Rutherford, oddly enough, did not get a meatball out of that. Matney did.
Here's the view from the cockpit here for Matney. Headed into turn 3. Sees Rutherford going around. Tries to go around the outside. Thinks he has it cleared easily. Oh, and you know what? I think Matney's race was pretty much over before the contact with the inside wall. He had the wheel cranked to the right, but the truck was still going left. So just terminal damage before even hitting that inside wall there for Matney, unfortunately.
So Matney will join Simard at least in being off, if not just out of the race entirely. I'm sure if it'll take a while to get required repairs done, might be able to come in later in the race, but Matney not running for points this season. And I don't think that steering wheel is going to be straight, even if he sits and does all the repairs. So it'll be interesting to see what he likes to do. But we'll throw a party, everybody. Zach Lockett was 3 laps in the hole. Now he's back on the lead lap.
Maybe everybody else a little frustrated with these cautions, but Lockett's not one of them. He needed them. He got them early.
Well, that's the thing, is usually when cautions stack up like this, there's frustration through the field about, driving standard and this, that, and the other. But all of these have been, again, similar to Bristol, setup and track temperature related. Most of them have been drivers that are at the front of the field or were at the front of the field. So, it's an interesting position for these drivers to be in. If they start driving frustrated, things are only going to get worse. Good start this time from both the top two. Peterson with a good start as well. He is now underneath his teammate. Peterson with a great launch here. He's going to be able to challenge for second.
Yeah, this is the best look Peterson has had at it, but Reynolds just rails the top side there. Lots of speed there in the second lane from Reynolds.
And Schlosser sails it in 3 and 4 as well. He pulls back up to the outside. Tricky territory here on the top.
Peterson able to clear. Now John Kay is going to look to the inside of the 40. And will clear as well.
Woo!
Here comes, Andy Poliski. Really
nice
loose
day.
there.
Poliski the winner last time we were here in Season 5. A dominant victory after he snagged the lead away from TJ Bartell. Poliski had to work for it there.
Van Leer working the outside.
Trouble! Froman is around. Gonna stack up a couple with him. Yeah. Tyler Berger there with some hang time.
Don't see that around Martinsville too often.
No. Holyfield also got a piece of that as well. I'm sure others, some glancing blows on their way by. But those three got the worst of it for sure. We're back under caution. Roman's not going from bad to worse.
Alrighty, folks. Here's a look. Oh, yeah, and just gets hit in the left rear by Stearns. And that's Berger that was just right behind the incident. Really didn't have anywhere to go. Everybody trying to get slowed down. A lot of drivers are able to get down low, but Holyfield ends up getting into Berger and Vroman and pinching Berger. That's what kind of got him kicked up into the air. And then I think it's Maxwell that puts the finishing touches on getting Berger airborne there.
Yeah, it is exactly who that is, unfortunately. That's his second. So, from the race lead, Brody Gunter has pit. And he has brought Andy Poliski with him. But those are the only two drivers. Actually, Ryan Dye, Corey Rutherford as well. So those four drivers were not involved in this accident and came down to pit this time. Although Dye and Rutherford both had damage from previous incidents.
Yeah, I have been involved in accidents previously, so I'm sure that's playing a part of them coming down pit road as well. See Holyfield getting tires here on the stop.
Now, I will say, Poliski was not leading here in Season 5 when he pit early, but it got him the lead when the rest of the field came down to pits around the halfway mark of the race, and track position won out for Poliski with so many laps under caution. So, I mean, who doesn't love a rerun?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. We've run a lot of laps under caution so far here tonight with 5 cautions in the first 40 laps. So, I mean, if you can get tires early, not run a lot of green flag laps, and save them for later on down the road, it can work in your favor.
Lap 43 going on the board. Field is now under the control of Nathan Reynolds, the man of the hour. Battling for second, John Kay looking to take it, and will. Slots up in front of his associate teammate Luke Peterson. Schlosser there in fourth, side by side for fifth. It's Jan Van Leer and Flinky Roberts.
Flinky Roberts fighting to get into the top 5 with Jan Van Leer right now. Has weathered all of the storms so far.
Jan with the diamond there in 1 and 2. Really trying to get the momentum here. Has it, but not quite clear. Can he do it again?
And Jan has been working the second line almost all night and has made it work beautifully. Gets clear of Roberts to get to the top 5.
Well, Peterson now going to have to play defense from the outside as Schlosser has rooted him up off the bottom. They're nearly making contact there into 3. Peterson shoved out wide, and Schlosser going to move up into the podium position here.
Yeah, heads up from Peterson to not push it too hard there. We've seen a lot of drivers try and get the power down before the truck is facing straight and pay the price. So Peterson able to keep the truck going forward, but does lose the spot.
Bertie Gunter on fresh tires, just got around Mark Dillon Jr. as problems. Caution is out. I think Kyle Dumig has gone for a spin in turn number 4. And we're back under caution, just as I think John Kay maybe was making a move to get around Nathan Reynolds for the lead. And I'm not too sure Reynolds actually didn't get super tank slappy loose at a turn 4 and give up the lead. Be interesting to see how it's going to be scored here, regardless.
Yeah, Kay is in front of Reynolds at the moment. We'll take a look at it after we look at the incident for Dumig. Dumig enters high. We've seen it so many times. If you just get too high up the racetrack with this setup here tonight, it's very treacherous, and that's what happens here with the 8. And as that was happening, this was happening up front. Wow. And you weren't kidding. Reynolds had to make a huge save nearly down to the inside wall. And that allows Kay to get by just as the caution was coming out.
I mean, it looked coordinated, but I mean, that is a truck that's not in control. Just strange timing. And I was about to say that we were gearing up, maybe for the last time, maybe not, who knows, but for a classic John Kay, Nathan Reynolds duel at the front of the field. But we've holstered the pistols, at least for the moment.
Well, we've seen them duke it out on short tracks many times, and to see both of them up at the front of the field going at it again tonight is really no surprise.
So we'll see what they've got for us here when we get back under the green. To note, some drivers came down pit road this time. Mark Dillon Jr., Zach Lockett, Steve Roman, and Ryan Dye, all from just outside of the top 10. But they have come down to get service. It's the first time for Dillon and Lockett. The other drivers have been involved in accidents. Tyler Bergert and Kyle Dumig also came in as well. So we started this race with 23. We're already down to 20 as Holyfield, Matney, and Samard have retired. I think everybody's still on the lead lap, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Berger's going to make his way down pit road again. Still trying to get some damage fixed from the incident a few laps ago.
Man, I can't believe he's still going. That thing was spinning like a top 5 feet in the air. Kudos to Bergert for sticking it out. At one point, he was the driver with the least amount of incident points this season. Things have not quite been going his way the last few weeks. Back to it. John Kay now in control of the field. It's Reynolds and Reynolds and Reynolds on the top side. The real Reynolds having to fight off Matt Schlosser here, who is digging hard on the bottom.
Flinky Roberts got high there in the corner and had to make a pretty decent save out of it. And there goes the real Nathan Reynolds around the outside of John Kay to take the lead back. Made it look easy.
So Tyler Bergert, who we just mentioned, was on pit road getting damage repaired. He's in front of the leaders here. Should be caught within the next couple of laps, I would imagine. Most of the way through the top 10 were single file. Bertie Gunter just tried to make a pass on Chad Stearns for 8, but falls back in the line for now.
Corey Rutherford had to make a massive save there, super loose. That was behind the fight between Ellison and Poliski for the top 10 position.
Schlosser's got a run on John Kay. He rooted him up the bottom there into turn number 1. Still hanging on the quarter panel here into 3.
We've seen Reynolds get around the outside. Can Kay be just as good as his teammate?
Well, he's about to get set by a pick here as Bergert hanging on the top side, and that is a smart play by Matt Schlosser to take P2. Nice work there. So Kay back to 3rd. It's Peterson and Van Leer, the top 5. Zittel, Roberts, Gunter, Stearns, and Poliski, the top 10. Gunter in 8th, the first driver in the running order with fresh tires.
Field continues to work around the lap traffic of Bergert. You mentioned Gunter right there, kind of trapped behind Flinky Roberts right now. Oh. John Kay right on the heels of Schlosser still.
Yeah, despite the good move there for Schlosser, he's not been able to get away from John Kay as though Flinky's around. Gonna tag Stearns as well. Another melee on the front stretch. Scrambling and bumping to try and get around the accident. It looked like a solo spin for Flinky, who was trying to hang on to his spot. And we are back under caution here on lap number 59.
Yeah, Flinky, he was fighting hard to try to keep Gunter at bay, but Gunter, who has been fast all night on fresh tires, that was a tough order for Flinky. Unfortunately, he finds himself around.
I mean, Flink missed Gunter's right rear quarter panel by inches. Maybe an inch. It was not by much. Gunter got to be counting his lucky stars here.
And Gunter gets down here to the inside of the 68. Roberts there on the second, maybe even third lane, you could consider it. And we've just seen it so many times. You get up there, farther up the racetrack on exit, that rear end gets very light. And Flinky does get into Stearns. And that was Andy Poliski made very significant contact with as well. Poliski, a lot of damage to the front end of that truck. Could be some engine damage there.
No meatballs out of that. But you're right, a hard shot.
Lots of folks down pit road here.
A couple of drivers not involved there. And only one driver from the top 10, Paul Ellison in. Chad Stearns was in the top 10, but got tagged there, so he's in for damage. Dylan, Maxwell, Vroman, Lockett, and of course Flinky and Tyler Bergert, all involved in one way or another. Interesting that Poliski isn't among those who came in with all the damage there.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out how significant it is here.
I mean, maybe it'll be an advantage. Think back to Martin Truex in the race that he won in very dominant fashion in Martinsville under the lights. They just lopped the whole right front section of the front grill off and cooled the tire. So maybe Poliski's got some tricks up his sleeve here. Say, as long as it didn't affect the engine and you don't pick up a meatball flag, I'd say keep on trucking.
Tough sledding for the driver so far tonight on our 7th caution. Not quite yet to halfway through the race.
Well, we're on pace, aren't we?
We are tracking. It's going to be close, but we are tracking.
That run had some promise to it, though. Things did not look unsteady all the way through the field. The one slip up there from Flanky, of course. But I mean, things look pretty orderly. So I think we're trending in the right direction. I think that was probably our longest run of the race, even if it was only 8 to 10 laps. But we'll see. Things could change in a heartbeat, especially now. Matt Schlosser has clean track in front of him, and he's on the outside. Schlosser and Reynolds, we saw them battle at Watkins Glen. We saw them battle at Road America, but this is a whole nother animal here at the paperclip.
Yeah, not a very good restart there for Schlosser. Kay's going to dive down to the inside of him. Peterson goes from behind Schlosser and also dives underneath the 40. Oh, wow! Kay gets blasted!
Oh, and that's Jan Van Leer into him. Or no, that's not Jan Van Leer.
That is Schlosser.
That is Schlosser, yes. I was going to say. That's caution number 8.
Barney's going to start taking out the black flag and pointing it at people here before too long. Cade got into the inside of Schlosser and cleared and moved up the racetrack to get a good arc into the corner. And as Kay is trying to get slowed down, Schlosser, just sends him into the turn. Not sure. We're going to go ahead and take another look back. We're going to go on board with Schlosser and see what the RPMs are like and how we're feeling here. And Kay just got off the throttle much faster than Schlosser did. After this contact, it's hard to tell if Schlosser was going to be able to make the corner as normal, if he was, going quite a bit faster than usual. Kind of hard to tell, because after contact is made, your truck does not go into the corner the correct way, so.
Okay, he's trying to protect 2 lines there. Just got re-clear of Peterson. Trying to fend off Schlosser there on the outside. I would imagine Kay is probably trying to take it a bit easier there into 3. Another racing deal. Schlosser did come down to pit, as did John Kay. Steve Roman has been back down pit road twice under this caution. So the players keep changing towards the front. Reynolds still in control. Peterson in second. Now it's the podium man himself, the decent one, Kyle Zittel at P3. Jan Van Leer and Brody Gunter back to 5th. Boy, things are looking up Gunter once again.
Yeah, he's worked his way up through the field on restarts quite steadily and really hasn't had to put much wear and tear on the set of tires. Came in on lap, I think, 49, and really hasn't had to use much of them at all to get to lap 72, which will be on the board when we take the green flag. So things are looking good for the 01 right now.
So what's old is new again. Reynolds in the 51, Peterson in the 38. Number changes galore here for the throwback race. but they're both at the front of the field. Peterson under fire. That's Zittel underneath. Oh, man, inches apart. A little bit of contact further back. Everybody's still pointed in the right direction.
Peterson does get clear. We see Jan Van Leer working that second line like he's been doing all night long. Trying to get cleared down in front of Gunter. He puts it down there. Oh, no! Contact with Zittel.
Zittel back around. Oh, gonna get clobbered. Oh, man.
The front end of that truck is gone.
That was a hard shot there. Unfortunately, Zittel's race is over. Somebody looking out just a bit too high as they were coming by Kyle Zittel.
Here's an incident. Man, Jan Van Leer did a good job trying to get clear of Gunter to get down to the bottom, but just carried too much speed. Drifted up the racetrack into that left rear of the 53. Oh, and it was John Kay that plowed into Kyle Zittel there on the top side. More contact with Schlosser as well. To John Kay, so Kay should have quite a bit of damage. As well as Schlosser, who made contact with Kay, and then the inside wall. But it's still Reynolds and Peterson here at the front of the field. They have been the constants. Brody Gunter restarting fourth. He was up there in the front, then came down to pit road to take tires and has now worked his way back up to the front.
And it's, a touch of irony there that happened with Jan Van Leer. That's pretty much what happened between he and Tyler Logan at the end of the USA race. JVL was staring down the barrel of a top 5 at USA. Got some help from behind from Tyler Logan. So another top 5 run here for Jan Van Leer, but this time the giver and not the receiver. We'll see. I mean, Jan has put together some really stellar runs. I was talking to Ryan Dye before the race started tonight, and he said, "Who are you looking at?" I said, "Well, outside of the usual crew, maybe, depending on what you would even consider the usual crew at this point." I said, Jan has had some good short track runs this season and has not gotten the results to go with it, so I'd look for the 5 tonight. I feel a bit vindicated, despite the contact. Jan doing a nice job. He's pretty well marched his way through the field. I think Ryan was probably hoping that I would say him. But I consider him in the usual crew, whether he knows that or not.
By the way, a small mistake on my part. Gunter and Poliski both came down on lap 39.
Oh. So see how that continues to play out. Again, pretty much everybody still has to make scheduled service at some point here as we're back underway with Reynolds in the lead. Jan Van Leer and Luke Peterson battling for second.
Oh, looked like some contact possibly there between Peterson and Van Leer. Van Leer not quite clear down on the bottom, but has a nose out in front.
Boy, they are door banging behind him. Poliski just used up Gunter, booted him out of the way. Corey Rutherford is back in the mix here as well. Rutherford fighting underneath of his teammate Gunter. Oh, Poliski snap happy there.
Yeah, Gunter going to try to get down to the bottom. Going to stack up that whole line.
Oh, they are stacking up. They're still driving forwards, but a lot of contact back through the line there.
There's a gaggle of about 5 cars in a diamond formation right now. That could have gotten ugly. Everybody's able to get through for right now.
Rutherford and Ellison, nose to tail, as now the caution is out. Cole Maxwell is around in turn number 2.
And we'll see what happens to Maxwell here. Yeah, just sends it too hard there into the corner. And, I mean, I don't know. This is our 8th or 9th caution. I'd say about 5 of them have been caused by that very same incident right there.
I think this is caution number 9. I could be wrong, though. Lockett says, where's Michigan? We want Michigan and not Martinsville. You know, I might be a bit biased in that argument because I really like Michigan.
Tommy, we were both wrong. 10th caution of the night.
Oh. So already in double digits here. What's half of 175? I don't even know. 85 on the board right now.
Well, 85 would be 170.
170,
so
yeah.
We're 87, 88. That's going to be the halfway point. So right about when we go green here, we're going to be at the halfway point in the race.
So this will be the 3rd Martinsville race, I do believe, for turn 200. We had 13 cautions in the Venom race here in Season 5. Last season with maximum velocity, I think we ended with 15 or 16. And on track for that similar number here tonight. So it's not a league-specific thing. It's not a driver-specific thing. Martinsville is a tough one to nail down for the sim drivers across the entire spectrum of racing.
On top of the track being difficult, you give them a limp noodle of a setup. And it just makes it that much more tricky.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe add some cheese to it. It might make it a little bit better.
Where do you put the cheese on a truck setup?
In the driver's mouth. That would, if I was the driver, that's where I would want it.
You know, it's not a bad call. I like that.
I mean, they've got plenty of time under caution laps here to get a couple spoonfuls.
Alrighty, we'll get back to it here. Jan Van Lee are going to take a crack at it here from the outside. Reynolds elects the bottom. Peterson and Poliski, Gunter and Rutherford. Good start here for Peterson. Jan sails it around the outside, though. He's looked the most comfortable on the outside tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jan has just been railing around that outside all night. We've seen other drivers that get up to that second line and cannot do it. We've seen so many drivers go around off the exit, but Jan Van Leer, he is making it his bread and butter here tonight.
Gunter already up to 4th and now challenging Peterson for 3rd. He made quick work of Poliski.
Oh, little bit of a bumper there.
Oh, save it. He's going to save it.
Wow.
Block it. Big shot.
Poliski's going to send him.
They are racing hard. Gunter in 3rd. Poliski now to 4th. Peterson back to 5th. as they all three made contact with one another at various points there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Gunter had to make a huge save, was slow down the front stretch, and Poliski didn't like it very much that he pulled right up in front of him when Poliski was quite a bit faster, and Poliski let him know.
Jan Van Leer right up to the tailgate of Nathan Reynolds. And he's going to look to the inside. They both got loose there. Reynolds has to cut that off. But Jan going to get a good run. Not going to be close enough to challenge.
Jan doing such a good job of letting the truck get rotated all the way around before getting back on it. Oh, he roots.
There he goes.
Reynolds up and sideways, spun around at the top.
Jan had the run, didn't have the positioning. Wowee. Things are getting feisty at the front. Contact between Poliski and Poliski and Gunter. Contact for the lead. Jan to the lead. Reynolds to the back.
Here's a look inside the cockpit for Reynolds. Doesn't look a bit expressionless, I would say. Of course, he's not one to get too fired up over either good or bad most of the time. Pretty even keel here in the driver's seat of the 51. He's going to come down pit road. Will likely be his only pit stop of the night if this race continues to go this way. And even if it doesn't, probably going to be the last pit stop of the night here for the 51. Let's take a look. Van Leer stuck right to that back bumper of the 51. Thinks he sees a little bit of the gap and just goes for it. Reynolds trying to protect it. But Van Leer, I think, got in there a little bit too shallow. I mean, it was a hole that was kind of not really there. It was sort of there. But had to take a very shallow entry into the corner and just couldn't hold it.
You definitely had the pace on Nathan. That was definitely a bit too far into the corner there. I mean, he looked like he hopped up over the curb. Maybe just trying to keep it off of him, but regardless.
Yeah, taking another look, it does look like he got over the curbing there just a touch. So definitely an aggressive move, but felt like he had to make it happen sooner than later.
Well, the Season 4 race here was pretty contentious. It's not one that the drivers speak very highly of in hindsight. All drivers for different reasons. Seasons 5 had a lot of cautions, 13 in fact, but one expulsion out of that race. But other than that, not really spoken of in Venom lore. I don't know, on the trend that we're on right now, this one may be in a few logbooks by the end of it. Already a lot of contact and a lot of hurt feelings to this point.
Yeah, you come to a track like Martinsville, and you always got the receipt book out, ready to jot some name downs potentially.
Well, who has unpaid debts? Don't forget Poliski and Gunter. They've made contact a few times this race. They've made contact at several points this season. Darlington and Road America, to name a couple. So that'll be a dynamic that continues to play out at the front of the field. But Jan Van Leer, with a couple of bumps himself already, now showing the way. Gunter on the fresher tires. Poliski has those fresh tires as well. He is finally inside.
Oh, Gunter trying to get around the outside of Poliski, not able to make it work right now. Oh, Poliski up the racetrack a little bit.
Poliski to second. Somebody slow. I think it's Flinky Roberts. I think he's going to keep going. Gunter looking maybe for a crossover. Nope, doesn't.
Ellison and Rutherford going at it here for fifth as well. You mentioned it, Gunter trying to get the run off the top side to get underneath the Poliski. Has not been able to make it work. Remember, both of these drivers on the exact same strategy as far as tires goes.
Oh, Flinky Roberts around, and the caution is back out. Looked like there were a few trucks around him, and he had already been having problems, so maybe some problems with help. Not sure. Didn't catch it. Either way, another caution on the board.
Oh, looks like Roberts had a little bit of help there from Maxwell. I think Maxwell thought Roberts was going to stick to the top side, and Roberts was trying to diamond come down to the bottom. Two of them make contact. Blinky kind of enters high and then tries to get down to the middle of the corner, tries to get down low in the middle of the corner, but Maxwell is trying to roll that bottom down there. So that'll be caution number 12. With coming up on 70 laps to go.
Yeah, track record is 17. It was the record up until Bristol earlier this season, where we had 20. Tyler Burgert with the wave around. I think he is now going to be back to 5 laps down. I do want to point out as well, with Tyler Burgert running Jeremy McKinnon's paint scheme tonight, Jeremy finished second last time we were here. And Jeremy missing in action. But hello to him if he happens to be watching. Still pretty active in chat, so we at least know he's alive. We've had quite a few people drop out this season for one reason or another. A lot of injuries, some new work schedules, and some general frustrations as well. And you'll always have that in league racing. I mean, still, shout out to this core group of drivers that has stuck around week in and week out and have put up with one of the more taxing seasons of the Venom Truck Series that they've ever had.
I mean, you have 24 drivers, the second to last race of the season, starting at Martinsville of all places. Yeah, these drivers have definitely put the work in and have a good foundation here of drivers in the league for sure.
So you said working caution number 12. Pit strategies still running wild here. Well, I will say, actually, it may just be Jan Van Leer and a couple other drivers that have yet to come down pit road at this point. So you're not seeing really a mass exodus to pit road, but everybody at one point or another has sort of trickled in.
Yeah, it's Jan Van Leer and I think Luke Peterson are the only two left that have not come down pit road at any point here tonight.
So that will be interesting to see when they elect to come down. They will have to. Even with all the caution laps, you're not going to make up 70 laps of fuel. It's just not going to happen. Jan and Andy up front. Gunter and Peterson, row 2. Rutherford and Ellison on the third row. Good getaway for Jan. Here's Gunter underneath Poliski for second.
Poliski trying to fight back on the outside.
These two are going to wear each other out. They already have, in fact.
for sure. Gunter not clear. Some contact there into turn 1. Just a little rubbing. Oh, and Gunter.
Oh,
Police's going to give him the bumper.
And he is cleaned out. Gunter going to save it. That was impressive. But he is going to lose 3-4 positions.
Oh, and then Peterson up the track a bit into Poliski. Here comes Paul Ellison.
Ellison underneath.
Not much room to work with. Poliski trying to squeeze the 55 down.
Over a second and a half now for Jan Van Leer up front. He wants this one to continue for as long as possible.
It's starting to become a slobber knocker here in the top 10.
Oh, certainly. I'm sure we'll see a few choke slams by the end of this one.
Gunter clear
it
Rutherford
was
for
huge.
a moment. Whoa! Police
That's police game. I mean, Ellison absolutely sailed it off into the back of Poliski there.
Wow.
Ellison with a quick apology over the radio. That's as much as we've gotten out of anybody for the last 50 laps or so. But nevertheless, does not change the outcome.
Wow, and it's just interesting. I mean, those two so familiar running in proximity with each other, and you don't see them get together. I mean, maybe at all in the time we've been covering the Venom Truck Series, but
well,
it's come tonight.
You would have said that before last week. This makes 2 races in a row now. Don't forget, Ellison was pushing Poliski. Poliski leading at the restart zone in Atlanta last week and finished 16th.
Yeah, and you're right, Ellison. I mean, Ellison was in the middle of the corner. Looked like he just had a lot more speed through the corner. I think he was going to be able to roll around the inside pretty good still. Poliski maybe a little hiccup on the entry, was slowed down a bit. And that's tough for Ellison. I mean, you get in such a rhythm, and you feel like you have a great run through the middle of the corner. You're just trying to get the turn so you can get a good exit with the truck in front of you, maybe a little bit slower than you think. It's hard to get it slowed down.
Well, I would imagine Gunter is feeling a bit hot and bothered up front. He has very much gotten used up here through the course of this race. But now, back up to third. How about Corey Rutherford involved in an early caution here? He's in P4. He hasn't been outside of the top 5 in about 2 or 3 restarts.
Yeah, he's been hanging out here near the top 5 all night. Obviously minus the incident that you mentioned. That was very early on in the race, though.
And has climbed his way back through the field, as has John Kay and Steve Roman and Chad Stearns and Nathan Reynolds and Matt Schlosser. They're all back to the top 10.
By the way, Tommy, for Jan Van Leer and Luke Peterson, not down pit road, we estimated at the beginning of the race 120 to 130 laps of fuel. They would have to save roughly 50 laps. I mean, if we take 13 cautions at an average of 4 laps a caution, I think it's possible that they can make it. I'm not saying it's not going to be darn close, and it might backfire, but it could be possible here.
Well, these are 2 drivers that have come close to victory this season. Jan has come close to victory on just a boatload of occasions. He's got the most starts in the Venom Truck Series. 2 goose eggs in the win columns for those 2 drivers. They might just be saying to hell with it. Give it a shot. They certainly don't seem to be hitting the panic button just yet.
By the way, Tommy, John Kay starting back in the top 5.
Yes, he is. Good launch for Jan. A bit of a wiggle there for Peterson, but Gunter not in a position to capitalize just yet.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was Vroman with a huge wiggle there up top. And he's going to lose out big time.
Yeah, he got way too fast into the corner, had to send it up towards the wall, a la Ross Chastain.
Boy, John Kay looked like a heat-seeking missile to the tailgate of Brody Gunter there.
Yeah, Kay is still probably not happy about earlier on in the race just getting put from the back to the front with his incident, or excuse me, from the front to the back with his incident. Been able to work his way up and wants to get back to the lead as quickly as possible, put it all behind him.
Jan leading, opening up another gap here on Peterson, who is under fire from Brody Gunter. Gunter going to look underneath. Again, 40-lap fresher tires essentially for Gunter over Peterson. Oh!
Rutherford
into the
hard
wall.
to the outside wall.
That was a hard shot.
That looked like a very similar incident as his first one where he got loose and just overcorrected a touch.
Gunter through to second. Here's Kay underneath Peterson. Peterson going to hang on. For now, anyway. Oh, trouble. It's Zach Lockett stopped in turn number 4.
And Lockett has pretty much kept his nose clean up to this point, kind of miraculously.
Well, I think he had some help on that one. Poor Cole Maxwell. He is having a tough go tonight after the top 10 starting spot.
Just take a quick look at this vintage Turn 200 Productions paint before we take a look at the replay.
That's our old logo. That's the Ryan Kent Jr. original logo.
Crazy how far it's come.
Yes, indeed.
And indeed, Maxwell gonna get into the back of Lockett. Actually got into the back of him pretty square to begin with. Lockett was able to hang on to it, but then another surge from Maxwell gets into the side of the 35. Little half spin up the racetrack for Lockett.
Maxwell said he read the number backwards and thought he was spinning out Kyle Siddle.
You know, somewhere I kind of believe it.
Speaking of Ziddle, he had quite a bit of repairs to do, but he is back out on track, 21 laps down.
My chat hasn't been updating very quickly, but Brantley Gainey has been in the chat somewhat recently. Don't know if he called that out yet or not, but saying that JVL gonna go take the victory home here for ICR. He's certainly looking good up front, while everybody else behind him is absolutely duking it out with each other.
Yeah, Jan has 2 short track runner-up finishes to his credit. He has 3 career second-place finishes. 1 came at Bristol, 1 came at Iowa, and the other one at Atlanta 2008, all the way back in the first season of competition. 3 top 5s this season, including 2 fourth-place finishes. One of those was last week at Atlanta. Jan was up front dictating the front of the field there for quite a bit of the middle portion of the race. And is certainly dictating the middle and maybe latter half of this race as well today.
Well, we haven't used them a whole lot here just because we've had a lot going on, but let's
you don't
go
say.
ahead. We're going to go car inside with Luke Peterson for the restart. Peterson has done an incredible job to keep himself in the top 5 literally the entire night.
Yep, 1 second place finish to his credit thus far this season. 3 top 5s. Would love to get a victory here tonight. We'll have to get past Jan Van Leer and Brody Gunter to do it. Gunter leaves the inside open, may shut the door here eventually. No. Gunter hanging tough here in P2. Around the outside, John Kay looking to take third from his teammate. And Nathan Reynolds back in the picture behind them in the top 5. I hear somebody in the wall. Caution is out.
Big contact. That's back Ellison. Farther. Ellison was around.
Ellison, I think Steve Roman was involved as well. Not sure who else. There was quite a gaggle back there. But that is caution number 15.
A tough night for Roman.
Tough night for everybody at this point.
And Roman carries a lot more speed through the middle of the corner than Rutherford and gets into the left rear of the 25. They almost got it sorted out, but Rutherford ends up going for a ride down into Ellison and then back up the racetrack. Wow, hard contact for all three of those drivers in multiple occasions here. And everybody else scrambling. Eric Breeding barely able to sneak through. Ellison's going to put some fresh rubber on there.
So I don't know how many wave rounds Tyler Berger has gotten, but I think he is now 2 laps down. I know at one point, I think he was at least 7 down.
That's incredible.
Possibly more. I'm sure he knows. Goodleaf says it's been a heck of a race, and I tell you what, even for the amount of cautions that we've had, the racing up front has been spectacular. So, gotta agree with them. That's this has been a messy night for sure, but it's Martinsville. But not gonna be a lack of things to write home about after tonight's all said and done.
Part of me wishes that we were doing this in real life and we were going to be able to see all the drivers get out of the trucks after the race, and I would love to just have an eagle-eye view of pit lane.
Well, we did have one driver get on probation here season 5 for wrecking after the race was over. We had another driver that was expelled from the league. So I mean, you don't have to throw fisticuffs in real life to have some post-race punishment dished out by the league council here at the Venom Truck Series. I think complaints will not be hard to come by after the race is over. As long as all the receipts are taken account of by the time they all get together in September at Bristol in real life, I think everything will be okay. Still trying to get formed up front here. Should be Gunter and Van Leer, Kay and Peterson, Reynolds, and Stearns on the third row. Lap 135 of 175 going up on the board this time. We are in the closing stages. Another good launch here for Jan. Good launch on the outside here for Peterson, but he's boxed in! Wow, good on Gunter to hang on to that one. That was a close move there.
Kay was really going for it there in the first turn. Oh, and then up the racetrack into Peterson a bit. Oh, Peterson now into the wall.
So they're going to battle for second. Brody Gunter is closing up in a hurry here for the race lead. Reynolds underneath Peterson, trying to take fourth. Oh, caution is back out. Kyle Zittel has gone around in turn number 4 and toes back to the pits rather quickly. And just as Gunter was sizing that up, it's not to be. Caution number 16, I think.
And both Jan Van Leer and Brody Gunter are tired of these cautions. They are anxiously waiting for somebody to send them up the racetrack on one of these restarts, and John Kay just about did it on the last one.
Yeah. I don't know. With the pace that Gunter has, Jan might be a bit for the cautions at this point, especially with the fuel number being a question mark. Oh, to that point, Luke Peterson is just pit.
Oh, wow.
So, take it away.
Oh, and it looks like Maxwell got into Zittel.
Oh, Cole. Pace truck's seeing a lot of action on and off track here.
Yeah, it's looking a little worse for wear.
Yep. I'd say so. Night's not over, though.
Could end up having to park it, that's true.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, we're just having fun.
They're just having fun, Maggle.
Where's Denny when you need him?
Yep. I don't know, something about the end of a short track race with 15-plus cautions just makes us absolutely delirious here in the booth. Like there's just a carbon monoxide leak setting over the track right now. It happens almost every time.
It certainly does. It's happened just about every time we come to Martinsville, and you know what? It's just a staple at this point. It's come to be expected, I suppose.
Well, if you start to feel your tongue swelling, let me know, and we'll bail out of the broadcast booth here and get some fresh air. And again, more lobbying for Michigan.
What if other extremities start swelling, and then what's the problem?
I think it's something else. I don't really know. I got no answer to that one. Yeah, we've killed him. Doubling up. Getting back to it. Laps are winding down here. Jan Van Leer is now the only driver that is not pit this entire race.
And will he is the question.
At this point, you may have to drag him kicking and screaming. I think he's going down that way either way. We're going to find out. Jan was under fire from Gunter last time. Will he survive another restart? Good launch. This is Reynolds trying to get underneath Gunter.
Okay, as well.
Oh.
He's going to put Gunter up into the wall.
Wow. Gunter straight to the back of the field again. Oh, 01 has been chewed up and spit out tonight.
Wow, and here comes Chad Stearns. Has kept his nose clean just about all night. All of a sudden, Stearns at the end of the race is here in the top 5.
Oh, Gunter hard into the wall. Gunter, it looked like, I couldn't tell if he had contact or not, but I mean, went straight into the middle of turns 1 and 2 there.
I'd love to hear that radioactive right about now.
Silent, which is usually worse.
Looks like Gunter's going to get caught on the top of 3 wide. Going down the front stretch down into turn 1. Well, it looks like gets loose on his own. Very similar to what we saw early on in the race. People getting up into that very top lane and the truck getting really light on him. And that's exactly what happens. No netcode contact with anybody. Just gets loose on his own. Nose up into the wall there on the top side of the racetrack. Shouldn't be really too much damage, but I mean, the damage to his track position has already been done. While we're at it, let's go ahead and take a look at that restart. I think John Kay thought Gunter was just going to try to hold Reynolds off on the top side, and Gunter dives down to the bottom, but so does John Kay. Kay up the racetrack a tad, into that left rear. And then spin comes later on here for Brody.
Well, eventually, Gunter did come over the radio and confirmed that he was rather displeased with the contact. First time that he's chimed up all night, despite numerous other contacts throughout the race. So, an important announcement to make here. Tyler Berger is back on the lead lap.
That is unbelievable. Wow.
That is incredible. Well, next up will be Kyle Zittel. We just need another 31 cautions, and we can get him back in the lead lap.
Jesus.
The other announcement
from airborne to on the lead lap. That's quite something.
Yeah. I need to go back and look at the number at some point to figure out how many laps down he was, but that is just insane. The other announcement is that, of course, our championship race is next Tuesday night for season number 7 of the Venom Truck Series. It is the first time the series will visit Kansas. That is how we're going to wrap things up next week. Jan Van Lee are still in control. John Kay, Nathan Reynolds, Chad Stearns now up to P4. This is just getting wild, if you could believe it here, with 26 laps to go.
And it's Reynolds and Kay back at it this time for a second.
Stearns!
Oh, no!
Got used up by Matt Schlosser there. Schlosser back up into the top 5, but at Stearns' expense. Oh, and caution is out. I think they all stacked up after that contact. Steve Vroman and Corey Rutherford involved.
And Tyler Bergert.
And Tyler Bergert, Zach Lockett, I think, got a piece of that as well. Don't tell me Tyler Bergert just got...
he did not get a meatball, did he?
No, I don't think so, but that is just some amount of irony there.
Welcome back to the lead lap, kid. Wow. Well, you mentioned the contact with Stearns and Schlosser kind of backing everybody up here. Let's take a look at that. Very similar to Kay and Gunter. Stearns was trying to go outside into the bottom in the middle of the corner. Schlosser sent it up the inside and made the contact. And it stacks up everybody here. Oh, and it looks like Zach Lockett, I don't know if he got turned or just got loose on his own. Kind of hard to tell from that angle. Looked like he got loose on his own and then got some help from Peterson. He was going to be able to straighten it out, but he was basically 3 wide with Peterson and Vroman and did not have room to make the save. Maxwell gets into Rutherford. And there's Berger coming in behind. Makes a little bit of contact with Vroman there. That's how one tiny little mistake can become a much bigger problem. 18th caution of the night.
2 from the record, and the laps are winding down. Will we break the record? That's what the fans want to know. Drivers, are you ready?
It's curious to see if Jan Van Leer is on max fuel save right now, is not shutting the engine off right now.
Low gear?
Definitely low gear. But I thought would be turning the ignition on and off still, regardless.
I mean, this is 50 to 60 laps of fuel save. Yes, we've had that many laps of caution for sure. But, I mean, that is crazy.
I mean, we have an average of 4 caution laps per caution. I mean, we're getting up towards 80 laps under caution here. So, saving 50 laps, and that certainly seems doable. And I think it might be even more like 5 laps per caution. I'm not sure what the number is, but it's right around 4 or 5, I believe.
Feels like about 10. Jan Van Leer closing in on what would be a first career victory, but he's got to fend off the multi-time series champion to do it. And got to fend off John Kay as well.
I think you could add Matt Schlosser and Chad Stearns to that group as well. They're battling hard amongst themselves at the moment, but have a lot of speed once they get clear.
Jan has not pit for tires. Reynolds has, and don't forget how Jan got the lead. It's by rooting Reynolds out. Took him for a ride. That'll be on the champ's mind, I'm sure, here as the laps tick away.
Reynolds likes to be patient as long as possible, though. Would like to get it done cleanly, I'm sure.
Reynolds looking for what would be career victory number 21 and give him the championship for sure. Give him a week off next week if he wanted it. But Jan giving some space right now. I think Flinky just got a bit loose there. Oh, and they're stacking up. I think we're still going at a 4-wide skirmish there as Flinky was well off the pace out of 4.
Yeah, Peterson looked like he was involved in that as well, but everybody keeps it rolling. Van Leer and Reynolds beginning to separate themselves from John Kay a bit.
Reynolds not leaving Jan. Jan a bit loose there into 3. Reynolds sizing up a run this time.
Yeah,
Will it be close enough?
Reynolds doing a great job of just getting a half a lane farther up the racetrack to get a little bit of a run off of the corners. Here
gonna look this time. Jan gonna shut the door.
Wow, Reynolds looked really loose.
Oh,
and now the
caution.
caution flies.
I think it's Bergert. And indeed it is. He's parked perpendicular down the back stretch. And we'll will stay ahead of the pace car.
Wow, the front of the 44/12 is absolutely bashed in.
Again.
See what happens here. Looks like he's by himself. Yep. Self-spin. Oh, that bashed in front was already there. Didn't make any contact with the wall.
I mean, are you surprised? He went full helicopter mode about 20 laps into this race.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at anything any longer.
Kyle Zittel getting a lap back. He's now only 37 laps down.
Is that all?
That is all. And I hate to say it, I don't think he's getting back on the lead lap. So even with his admin tools that he has to give himself wave rounds, I still don't think he could get back on the lead lap.
I think you're right.
19th caution. One more to tie the record. 2 more to break it. The laps are winding down. Inside of 10 laps to go. All right, let's talk strategy here for potentially the final restart in Martinsville. Jan has been good on the restarts. He'll have control, but he's got older tires. Reynolds clearly had the pace on him. And you bring the other factors into the mix here of John Kay and Matt Schlosser and anybody else that decides not to use the brake pedal into turn 1 here. What are you thinking here if you're at the front of the field?
I mean, if you're Jan, the only thing you really can do is protect that bottom, and don't even give them, a glimpse of a lane. I mean, you want to be able to, even if they do move you, you want to be able to say at the end of the race, yeah, you didn't have any room down there. You just turned me. At least make them feel bad about it. If you leave them even a quarter of a lane, they're gonna say, "Well, I thought you were gonna maybe go up the racetrack, and I had a little opening there." No. Protect the bottom. Don't let them have it. And I mean, what's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Well, if it's Reynolds the one to make the move, quite literally, on Jan, make them even Stevens for this race. Jan took the lead with contact from Nathan Reynolds. Reynolds used that opportunity to pit for tires and has worked his way back up to the front, where Jan has since led the most laps of this race without making a pit stop. Chips are on the table here. 6 laps to go when we come back to the stripe. It's Jan Van Leer and it's Nathan Reynolds, John Kay, Matt Schlosser, Chad Stearns, and Ryan Dye now on row number 3.
Not a great restart for Reynolds, but he is able to sort of get in, but then drifts wide there through turn 2.
One truck loose. It's Eric Breeding. I think he's going to stay moving.
Whoa. Oh,
no,
somebody
turned.
Wow.
That's Breeding. Breeding got loose and then got help from Flinky Roberts, who duck hooks him straight into the outside wall there in 3 and 4. And we're going to be knocking on the door of overtime here at Martinsville.
I mean, that was a cluster if I've ever seen one.
It all starts with Breeding getting mega loose out of turn number 2.
Oh, there's the mega loose, as you said. Oh, and they wrecked well behind them as well. I did not catch that. I mean, Zach Lockett, Maxwell, and Tyler Bergert all wrecked behind Roberts as well as Breeding, unless I'm not looking at the correct incident.
I mean, there are 2 incidents there.
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah, so up here, the one that I think officially brought the caution out. Breeding had gotten loose. Flinky all over the back of Breeding. Gets him loose again into the next set of corners. And then Breeding gets just absolutely hooked by the 68.
Well, Breeding's race is over. He's the only one to pick up a meatball flag out of that, although Zach Locke took a really hard shot there out of 2.
We've tied.
We
tied
have.
the record.
And we're going to overtime with a race on the line here in Martinsville, and a lot of unhappy campers at the front of this field as well. So, new record might be inbound here, if only by a caution.
I don't know if there are any happy campers anywhere in the field.
Well, somebody might be happy at the end of this race, depending on who takes the checkered flag and how they take it. We are now officially into overtime. We have a possible 3 attempts at it, should we need it. And we might. And I want to say for the record, short track racing, it's a difficult game. This group struggled early in the season with cautions at a few of these smaller tracks. USA, Phoenix, Bristol, of course, the record setter. But the track record from Bristol onward has been spectacular. Quite a few caution-free oval races in the mix there. I think we all knew tonight was going to be like this. But I mean, things have been good of late here in the Venom Truck Series, so I think I'm willing to ride a pass, even if I am a little biased.
Yeah, I think this one, of all of the races this season, this one had the potential. And putting it at the end of the season after, I think some receipts have stacked up over the course of the season, and they're getting aired out here tonight.
Jan Van Leer on the precipice of a first career Venom Truck Series victory, potentially 2 laps to bring it home. He did not get a great restart. Reynolds going to clear John Kay. Reynolds going to work.
Kay almost looked to the inside of Reynolds, maybe a little shot to the back of the 51 as well.
Back to the line. White flag is out. This is it. Reynolds with a run. Can Jan Van Leer bring it home? Jan is loose, but Jan Van Leer is finally a winner in the Venom Truck Series. It doesn't matter how you do it, Jan Van Leer. Career start number 100 tonight. And that is career victory number 1. Nobody has started more races than Jan Van Leer. And tonight is finally the night. The driver 5 gets to claim P1.
And look at all the love coming from the drivers. Oh, a little bit too much love, maybe.
Long awaited and well deserved.
Well, you mentioned it, Tommy. He's been good on these short tracks all season, and he was your sleeper pick aside from the usual suspects, and boy, were you ever right.
I'm happy to call another one here. Man, half of ICR is out tonight. The Dean of Drivers, Michael Dean, is not here. Sounds like Brantley and Lindsay are enjoying a vacation. But Cole Maxwell, a tough night for him. But balances it out with the first win here for ICR's Jan Van Leer, the team proprietor. The burnouts are already over, but the celebration is just beginning for driver number 5. We get to the full finishing rundown here as Jan Van Leer holds off Nathan Reynolds without a pit stop, by the way. 170 something laps tonight. Not sure how many we actually got to. But Jan takes the win. It is Alabama Gang 2-3 as Reynolds in second, Kay in third. We'll talk to these 3 gentlemen momentarily. 4th tonight for Chad Stearns. 5th for Matt Schlosser. Ryan Dye going to start 6th, finish 6th. If only it were that uneventful. Andy Poliski in 7th. Paul Ellis in 8th. Luke Peterson back to 9th. Brody Gunter will rally for 10th. 11th for Steve Roman, 12th for Flinky, 13th for Cole Maxwell. After all that, Tyler Bergert will finish on the lead lap, against all odds. In 14th, Zach Lockett, P15. Mark Dillon Jr., the last driver on the lead lap at 16th. And DNFs for everybody except for Kyle Zittel in this list. It's Breeding in 18th, Rutherford in 19th, Kyle Zittel in 19th. I missed a number there. I don't know. I am oxygen deprived at this point. Kyle Dumick at 20th, Austin Holyfield 21st, Rodney Matney and Pascal Simard, the 23 drivers that took the green flag of this race over an hour and a half ago. And with that out of the way, it is time for podium interviews as soon as the Alabama gang trickles into the waiting room. While we're waiting for John Kay and Nathan Reynolds, I suppose, Matt's anything to say after tonight?
Wow, you really put me on the spot here because there was a lot we could talk about after tonight. Some storylines came up out of the woodwork from throughout the season. Lots of bumping, banging, pushing, rubbing, anything in between has happened among the drivers, and I think a lot of them are glad that this one's behind them. But boy, Jan Van Leer, I mean, to take the strategy, not ever come down pit road and still able to hold it off at the end for the win, that's incredible.
Yes, indeed it is. And the podium interviews will commence here with John Kay, P3 tonight in Martinsville. Welcome back to Booth 200. Congrats on the podium. A wild night here tonight, to say the least.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I think it was perfectly normal. Like, none of the, it's just good racing, good hard racing. Definitely not like 25 cautions, whatever. Just another normal night in Venom.
Well, I mean, lots of contact tonight on the giving end and the receiving end. I mean, what do you take out of a night like tonight other than a podium finish?
Take my podium finish and run. The last time I ran here, freaking ran into Paul under caution and blew up. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just dig, I guess.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, you had to go from the back of the field to the front at one point. What was it like trying to work your way through traffic and try your hardest to stay out of any incidents on the way through?
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. It was tough trying to just stay clean. I got to apologize to Kyle. I know he knows I'm sorry, but I mean, frickin' didn't even see him and just run straight through him and gave him like a bunch of damage. So that's on me. I was trying to avoid doing that because I knew there was going to be spins and stuff, and walked myself into a bad situation and put my teammate in a worse one. So, I mean, I feel terrible about that, but I'd say other than that, it was a lot of trying to be careful, and a lot, this is going to sound really stupid, but it's a lot like super speedway racing. You just take the runs where they are and got up there, I guess. I don't know.
Shout outs for you here tonight.
Yeah, I want to shout out my girlfriend. She comes home at the end of the week, so thank God she can go back to hearing me yell and scream like an absolute idiot in here. It's been a long 2 months. Shout out my mom and dad for giving birth to me. Shout out all my people that watch, that when they do watch, appreciate all of them. And shout out the whole team. We're missing Garrett again tonight. I know he's going through some stuff, so I hope he gets healthy quick and comes back. And again, sorry to Kyle, and great job, great effort by everybody tonight. Nathan, Paul, Luke was really quick, and Eric was doing Eric things. Eric's a really good short track driver. He doesn't have the results to show for it, but I mean, that luck's going to break his way one of these times, and he'll get back to having good finishes at short tracks. And then shout out you guys.
Thank you, partner. Congrats to the P3. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week in Kansas.
Yeah, we'll see.
All righty. Thanks for the time.
Yeah.
We will bring in your P2 finisher then. It is time to talk to the man of the hour himself. Saw a lot of you out on track here tonight, not just in the 51 truck, but seemingly just about every truck. Nathan Reynolds going to come home with the P2 finish. Good to talk to you again. Congrats on the P2.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, I'll just rip the Band-Aid off here. You saw a lot of time at the front of the field here tonight. All of a sudden, you found your way rather quickly to the back and had to work your way up through once again. I don't know. Thoughts on the night as a whole?
To championship caliber run, get taken out and then recover. I guess that's why we're here.
And that was going to be my other question, depending on what Matt asked. But I mean, we just about got this thing locked up. In fact, I'd say we probably had it locked up before we even took the green tonight. I mean, this just solidifies why you're the top dog here and going to go out on top as well.
Yeah, just always go hard. Never take any nights off. I look at the points and I'm mindful of them and points race, but at the same time, I just try to just do my thing and not worry about it. Let the chips fall where they may. And I think we've probably put together one of the better seasons, I think, in Venom as far as consistency goes. It's been a really good year. I hate to sound like a downer. I'm a little irritated, but I'm very happy with the recovery. I just wish we could get some long green flag runs at these short tracks. I think there's certain tracks that shouldn't be going to, and it's unfortunate, but it's hard to race. You get a lot of the product you see tonight, but I guess you just have to work through the growing pains and make the best of it.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, congrats on the recovery. I mean, we talked about, I think wrapping up this championship at this point, but it's got to be, even though the night itself wasn't spectacular, got to be pretty special to know you're wrapping up the championship and have about half the field running throwback paints of yours here throughout the field.
It's pretty awesome. I'm honored. I feel like I'm too much of a prick at times the way I drive, and just maybe not the way I drive, but just the aggression, and I'm quiet and try to be, and I think it comes across wrong sometimes. So I always feel like I have the wrong attitude, but seeing stuff like that kind of lets me know otherwise, and makes me feel good. And I greatly appreciate all these guys paying tribute and everything, and being such good friends as we've went throughout the years in this league, and great people to race around. And I want to take nothing away from Jan tonight. I'm very happy to see him get a win. I've been rooting for him for a while to get one, and it's unfortunate what happened, but I'll give him benefit of the doubt. We've never had any run-ins, and I'm not that type of driver. I didn't have it in me to go up there and move him out of the way. The last thing I want is to have some bad blood at the end of the season on my way out, and I'll gladly finish second to him there. Just didn't have anything for him there on the shorter runs with the restarts. Just needed a longer run. So all in all, a good night, and awesome to see everybody, all of our paints out on the track. We'll take it and go on. I think the Fat Lady's been singing for a while now, but they're rooting for an encore, and we got to go out with a bang next week. It's no days off.
Well, who told you I was singing? No, I mean, everybody running throwbacks to you here tonight. Regardless of what you think, I think it's obvious to Matt and I, as we've gotten to know this group of drivers over the last 3 seasons, and get to know you, especially more recently this season as well. All the praise is well deserved. Your character on and off track is exemplary, and if we could find a league full of Nathan Reynolds, I think everybody would be better off. But we appreciate you sticking around here and putting on great shows week in and week out on Turn 200, regardless of what league it's in, and we'll be happy to get you back whenever we can in the future. But we'll save the mushier stuff for next week as well. But congratulations to you on a P2 finish here tonight, and wrapping up the championship. And we'll leave you here for the thank yous.
Yeah, as always, Nitro Racing. Those guys over at Nitro Racing Setups, check those out. They got Atlanta this week. It's a super speedway, so a lot of setups are similar, but there's a little differences there. And jump in the Discord with those guys, and they'll hook you up and be drafting partners and maybe get you a win. They're really good about that and doing the teamwork thing. And of course, RJ over at NASCAR Report and on Instagram and Twitter. RJ was down in Daytona this week doing a lot of coverage for all 4 series. As he was down there and putting in a lot of good work. So check him out. And then again, just thank all the guys that ran our paints tonight and all of our teammates throughout the years, and everybody that's been a friend. And just big thanks to Venom for having me and putting up with me this long, and you guys for doing this broadcast. It's one heck of a broadcast. I know I have a lot of people watching you guys, and sing very high praise of all of you, and I had a lot of text messages there under the caution going off. If I'd listened to the crowd, I would have. I've had a lot wanting me to dump that 5. So my mom was one of them. She's like, "Go get him." She kept sending it, and I'm like, "Mom, I'm trying not to be mad, and if I think about it, I'm going to get mad, and I'm going to overdrive. Please, just leave me alone." So thank her for being so caring over the things that just really don't matter.
Well, way to not listen to the devils on your shoulder there. Congrats on wrapping it up. Congrats on the P2. We'll hopefully, we will talk to you again next week in Kansas, no matter what.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys.
So from I guess an impromptu championship celebration to now, what is a long-awaited race victory here. Tonight is start number 100 for Jan Van Leer in the Venom Truck Series. He started the most races. Tonight, it's finally driver number 5's time on top of the podium. Congratulations, partner. Well deserved.
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. Thank you, man. Woo!
I'm not crazy, right? You didn't pit this race.
I did not pit.
What? I mean, I know we had a lot of caution laps, but even if I found myself with the track position, I would never think that I would have a chance to keep it up front. I mean, what compelled you to do this?
Well, I said I'm not pitting until Nathan or Luke pits because I know they're probably on the same strategy. And then I got in front of Luke, and then that incident happened with Nathan, which was unfortunate. I didn't want that to happen. But I don't know. I just knew I was going to make it. I looked at the numbers, and they did not spell disaster.
I mean, a lot of elbows out driving tonight. You mentioned the contact with Nathan there, and he seemed to be pretty happy for you regardless of it in his interview. But I mean, and you had to work your way through the field here tonight, starting P14. I mean, you just had to see the worst of the worst on your way up to the front.
Yeah, I mean, it was all Alabama gang and super kick guys up in the front, and they did not want to let me by. I could tell they were working together on the restarts, but at a certain point, I knew that I just knew that I had the fastest truck. I was like, I have the speed. I could tell, and I knew there was going to be a way by. I don't know if I maybe took too early of chances with Siddle and Nathan. I haven't seen them. I need to go back and look. I'd feel bad. I felt like they were racing incidents at the time, but if not, I'm sure I'll get the penalties for them. But I just sometimes you're fast. And you just gotta race really hard.
Matt, what do you got here for the race winner?
Just a big congratulations. I mean, a bold strategy, but like you said, I mean, the fastest truck on the track, it seemed like, especially for having literally the oldest tires on the track from the very beginning. But, I mean, take us kind of through the whole thing. I mean, this is start 100, and you finally get it done. I mean, how does it feel?
It's amazing, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. That was easily the most nervous that I've ever been in my entire life. I was definitely having a rough time. I had to shut everyone off. I muted everybody. I muted my team, and I was just like breathing because it's been, like you said, I've missed one race this entire time Venom's been around. I came so close to winning on so many occasions and just never been able to seal the deal. I thought for a long time there that it just wasn't never going to happen. I'm just not going to win a race in Venom, but I guess sometimes it's your day. It just seemed to get better and better. I knew I had the truck at a certain point, and then once I was in the front, it was just a matter of nailing the restarts and not dying of a heart attack.
Well, we accomplished that. But I mean, yeah, you've had so many runs this season or so many races rather, where you've been having good runs, and then one thing would lead to another, and it just wouldn't fall your way at the end of it. Last week at Atlanta, USA as well. I had a lot of confidence in you personally with seeing how you ran at USA, knowing that they're fairly similar to this track, and I feel vindicated. So I can't imagine how you feel as the actual driver in this equation. But
man, I'm tickled pink.
Well, the chat is blown up for you, both in the Venom Discord and in our stream as well. So a lot of people celebrating a driver number 5 win here tonight. Long-awaited victory lane shout-outs and thank yous for you. Have at it.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, I was driving today with my friend Ray Davis, Black Ray, on. Unfortunately, I got the news this morning that he passed away. So he was a good friend of mine in Philadelphia and just a really good dude. Always made me feel at home when I lived out there. And so I put him on my truck, and I felt like I had the extra pressure to get it done. Thanks to my team, Insert Coin Racing, definitely everyone at Venom, both of you guys, and the Martin Truex Jr. Martinsville race-winning diecast that I had next to me during the race as well.
It willed you to victory. It helped you keep that right front tire cool, I think.
Yeah, you know what? My family too, and I keep meaning to say it, I always forget, my awesome, amazing partner, Chloe, who stands by my side no matter what I do. Yeah, we're going to have a couple drinks tonight.
Well, have at him, buddy.
Thank you.
Definitely earned him. Congrats on the race win, man.
Thanks. Thank you, guys. Peace out.
Well, that is exciting. It's always cool to see somebody get their first win. But I mean, Jan mentioned it. 100 starts in his Venom Truck Series career. There have been 101 Venom Truck Series races. So he's only missed one since 12 drivers took the green flag in 2021 at Auto Club Speedway. And, I mean, Jan's been here for it all, seen it all, and finally we get to see him on the top step of the podium. It's really freaking cool to end the night like that, regardless of any of the extenuating circumstances with the contact through the field. But, that's not going to dampen anybody's party. Even Nathan said he was, fine with it. I think everybody in the league has been willing a Jan Van Leer victory for a very long time. And tonight, it finally goes his way.
Certainly. I mean, you mentioned it. A pioneer of the Venom Truck Series, has been here through it all. I mean, a lot of changes and, just different things. At one point thought that the Venom Truck Series might not even be around any longer. And he's been here through it all, has only missed one race. And yeah, for somebody like that to get their first victory and for us to be able to be on the call, it's pretty special.
So yes, congratulations to Jan Van Leer. Super cool night for them and ICR. I can't talk all of a sudden. I don't know what happened, but congratulations to them. Congrats to Nathan Reynolds, presumably on a championship. Again, not official, but I mean, come on. So that will be all done and dusted, as will, in theory anyway, Nathan Reynolds' Venom Truck Series career. When the checkers drop at Kansas next week, part of me is hoping after some time away that he will pull a Jimmy Johnson and just come back, or at least come in occasionally after we open up the Venom Hall of Fame for him. But regardless, one last ride for Nathan Reynolds next week at Kansas. And before we get into the rest of our calendar and promos and all that, Matt Williamson, who was hanging out with us here tonight.
Yeah, lots of great folks. Of course, Goodleaf Archives has been hanging out with us almost every night, if not every night, that we've had streamed for the last few weeks. So very much appreciate the support. Of course, Cole Maxwell, Lindsey G, Flaky Roberts, texting and driving while he was out on the racetrack. Zach Lockett was doing the same as well, although that might be while he was trying to get some damage repaired. Not quite sure, but found himself on the lead lap after a crazy night. Brantley Gady, Hunter Leach, all of you guys, thank you so much for chatting with us here tonight and watching. Lots of cautions, lots of action, but lots of good stuff to watch as well. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
And speaking of lots of cautions and lots of action, join the Daredevil Series tomorrow night from Talladega Superspeedway. It's finally time to do the unthinkable, to do the unreasonable. That is why the Daredevil Series exists, and we are going full send tomorrow night in Alabama. So be here for that. We are not going super speedway racing on Thursday night as previously thought. We are running the classic version of Atlanta, the 2008 version, here on iRacing. It always proves to be one of the more difficult challenges, especially in the trucks. So Legacy Atlanta, 08 Atlanta on tap for the drivers of the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series on Thursday night. Then join us Sunday afternoon from Road America. Yep, Road America is where the Mission R Challenge Top Split Strength of Field broadcast will be on Sunday afternoon around 2 o'clock Eastern. And then again, no Monday night racing. Matt and I will finally be racing after it got delayed a week in a Super Speedway series. And then Tuesday night is the championship race for season number 7 of the Venom Truck Series from Kansas Speedway. So we'll hope to see you between now and then. But the best way to make sure that you can be here on time for everything that we got coming up in the next 7 days is to scroll down and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And liking the stream while you're down there as well. Every little bit is going to help us. We are inching closer to 600 subscribers, which is pretty cool. And closing in on 1,000 as well. They are just slowly creeping up that direction. So that'll be super cool if and when we hit that. So thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. For everybody with the Venom Truck Series, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from the throwback race here at Martinsville Speedway, where Jan Van Leer finally gets it done and takes his first career Venom Truck Series victory. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.